Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Good evening. Let's try that again. Good evening. Good evening. A very warm welcome to the demo day of First Capital Startup Nation by Hatch. Today, it's all about celebrating bold ideas, fearless founders, and the power of innovation to shape the future of Sri Lanka and beyond. Over the past weeks and months, these incredible founders have been building, refining, and pushing their ideas to the next level. And today, they step onto this stage to share their vision with all of you. We're excited to have in this room investors, mentors, partners, ecosystem leaders, and friends of the startup community who all play a role in helping these founders to grow. Thank you for being here to support and champion the next generation of founders. So, to kick things off, let me kindly invite our co-founder of Hatch, Jeevan Ranam, to officially welcome you all.
Good afternoon, everyone. Deputy Minister of Digital Economy, Mr. Iranga Veeraratne, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. When does an idea come to life? There is a myth about great ideas, and the myth is it happens in a second. There is an aha moment that sparks, and the entrepreneur and the great idea is born. But I believe if you ask most entrepreneurs when such a moment occurred, most of them will find it difficult to recollect that moment. Great ideas come by the relentless pursuit of asking the right questions and trying to find answers to them. And once satisfied, starting all over again. Even Charles Darwin's diaries revealed this truth. His theory of evolution did not arrive overnight. It took years of careful thought, observation, and refinement. Thoughts being formed on page, ideas slowly crystallizing into what we now accept as one of the greatest scientific breakthroughs of all time. This is the journey of every startup, and this is a journey also of Hatch, a startup that supports startups. The Hatch you see today is not the Hatch we imagined in 2018. We began as a co-working space, but today we have evolved into an ecosystem hub, the central nervous system of Sri Lanka's startup ecosystem. We connect founders, investors, mentors, corporates, and policymakers, just as the central nervous system coordinates and powers the vital function in the body. Hatch integrates these parts so the whole ecosystem can think faster, act smarter, and grow stronger. Startup Nation is the one time where we bring everything together. It's time for reflection, it's time for fellowship, and it's also time for visioning what we can evolve to next. Looking back on our 7-year journey, we've grown from supporting just 18 startups in 2018 to over 800 plus this year. We've walked alongside entrepreneurs through bombings, political turmoil, and financial crisis. And each time we ask the same questions. How can we make things better? How do we take them global? How do we help them endure and thrive? These aren't abstract questions. These are deeply personal. I still remember founders sitting across from us, exhausted and asking, should we stay or should we go? Brenda and I would agonize over each case, praying we weren't giving them the wrong advice. In most cases, we encourage them with the words, Romans 8, delay is not denial. And I'm glad we did, because Sri Lanka's recovery since 2022 has been nothing short of miraculous. Today, our nation is seen as a poster child by the World Bank in terms of economic recovery in the South Asian region. Sometimes it's good to align purpose and impact with numbers, so we can stand proud and see that we have made a difference in the world. We started measuring our impact numbers in the last 2.5 years, and we actually reported directly to the board. So in the last 2.5 years, we have conducted 23 programs, directly helped and supported 400 startups. We have a 61% female participation rate, 92% occupancy just because we started a new space on Chatham. We have 15 plus strategic partnerships and 168 given grant funding and 11 received funding. So that's been our impact in the last 2.5 years. And yet, we know Sri Lanka still has many problems, but therein lies the greatest opportunity. Startup Nation is about stewarding this country the way entrepreneurs steward their startups, turning setbacks into setups, transforming problems into opportunities. We believe Sri Lanka's past does not define us. It repurposes us and allows us to turn a setback into a setup. This is the essence of Startup Nation. The future is very bright, and we are super excited about it. Sri Lanka is uniquely positioned as a gateway to 2 billion people across India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and the wider South Asian region. Unlike our neighbors, we are a nimble market with higher per capita GDP and a regulatory environment that can move slightly faster. That makes us the perfect testbed for South and Southeast Asia. Companies like Axiata have already proven this, trialing technologies like 4G, 5G, and many others, first in Sri Lanka before taking it to South and Southeast Asia. On top of that, Sri Lanka enjoys a unique position of neutrality, which I hope it will keep. Balance between the US and China, and in the region, it often sees itself as a bridge rather than a rival between countries like India and Pakistan. This makes us a testbed, not only a testbed, but an actual connector, a place where global and regional stakeholders can meet, build, and scale. With macroeconomic tailwinds in play, Hatch, as an ecosystem play, which is profitable, is now scaling the good we can do. Here is a short video on some of what we're planning. No, that's not it. Thank you. In case you missed most of that, we're glad to officially announce we are going from an 800-plus community in this one building to 3,000 in a few buildings across the next 2 lanes. This will create Sri Lanka's first innovation district. And to do that, we have raised $2 million USD out of our 3.5 million raise, involving $1 million from Draper, which you saw, $500,000 from existing shareholders, and another $500,000 from Grow Valley, our partners in UAE. With these funds, we start to develop our next development, beginning with an entrepreneurs and investment club headed by Suresh and his team. I was stuck. Don't know what happened. Okay, yeah. An investors and investors club by Suresh and the team. And we have 3 separate funds for investments. One is Mesh, which realigns our purpose, where we invest 15% of our EBITDA back into very early stage startups, including ideal stage startups. And we also have HLAB, which is a pre-seed to pre-series A startup in Sri Lanka, and a hatch fund in Singapore to take global investments. Prajit, our partner and co-GP, will be up on stage later to talk about this. We are also going global with our partner in UAE, Grow Valley, who is here, Suhail, where we're launching our first co-working space in Sharjah, with programs soon to follow for the UAE government. We are also launching our FinTech Residency Accelerator program with our partner First Rate, which sits between Sri Lanka and Singapore. And we are trying to bring global knowledge and expertise into the FinTech arena here in this thing with our partner John, who is sitting here as well. We have some exciting programs, including the relaunch of Accelerate Her with ADB and many, many more. Very soon, you are going to see the top 7 startups where we have looked across 200 plus applicants, which we hope to fund one of them with a $100,000 check from the Hatch Fund. And the most important thing that we know is that we can't do all of this ourselves. There are 40 plus investors, entrepreneurs, and ecosystem builders in the room from 9 different countries: Korea, Singapore, Japan, Philippines, Hong Kong, India, Netherlands, US, but to name a few. Please give them a hand. We want to thank them from the bottom of our heart for making it all the way here and taking the time to discover our beautiful island. However, I have an ask, that you not only come here to visit, but you also come here to stand with us. You stand here with our local partners to take Sri Lanka to the world. And with that, let's build a meaningful and purposeful Sri Lanka. Let's build together. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeevan. As we continue on this journey of Startup Nation, First Capital has not only been our title sponsor, but also one of the strongest champions of this initiative, standing firmly behind our vision to empower Sri Lankan entrepreneurs and bring their ideas to life. It is now my greatest pleasure to invite to the stage Mr. Rajendra Tyagaraja, the chairman of First Capital Holdings, to address you all. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm round of applause even as Mr. Tyagaraja comes on stage.
Evening, ladies and gentlemen. I must say that came as a bit of a surprise. Didn't come prepared for that. But all I want to say is First Capital has been a part of this journey, especially in this round from the beginning. And I myself have been a judge from round 1, and to date have enjoyed every moment of it thoroughly. What we have seen so far to date has been the amount of energy and vibrancy which has come from a complete diverse pool of entities and young budding entrepreneurs bringing different stories, which I think is great for Sri Lanka, as was articulated by Jeevan. I think some of us who have been involved in this space during the pre-COVID era saw the various ups and downs, not only the country, but this ecosystem went through the last 7 or 8 years, including the currency crisis. But I think for those who have believed in the system, believed in the future of enterprise, and who have steered through that. We are hopefully now seeing the end of the tunnel and hopefully a brighter sunshine. And today to see, as Jeevan said, we have representation from such a wide variety of nations coming in to see people showcasing, I think gives also a tremendous amount of promise. So I would like to wish the 7 contestants who are planning to pitch today all the very best. And on behalf of the board of First Capital, I would like to reiterate our commitment to this ecosystem and to Hatch. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tyagaraja. And now the moment that we've been all waiting for. The top 7 startups are ready to pitch. But before we do that, let me introduce to you the panel of judges who will be judging today. Kicking off the panel, we are excited to welcome Mr. Abdul Paravengal, CEO and co-founder of Kera Capital. As an angel investor, he has supported over 150 startups and also serves as a venture partner with SeedStar's First Check and Dexter Ventures. A big round of applause even as we welcome Mr. Abdul to the panel. Our next judge is Mr. Rajendra Tyagaraja, Chairman of First Capital Holdings PLC. With over 36 years in the banking sector across Sri Lanka and UK, he has held leadership roles in 3 licensed commercial banks and chaired prominent institutions like the Sri Lanka Banks Association and Asian Banks Association. Warm round of applause for Mr. Tyagaraja. Joining the panel of judges next is Ms. Deshani Ratnayaka, Vice President at First Capital. With extensive experience in finance and corporate governance, she brings deep insights into business strategy and investment, making her an invaluable voice in today's judging panel. Welcome, Mr. Deshani. Up next, we have Mr. Jinesh Patel, the Managing Partner at Integra Partners in Singapore. Integra Partners invests in early-stage companies across Southeast Asia, focusing on SME enablement, financial inclusion, healthcare, agri-food, and the environment, truly investing where profit makes purpose. Big round of applause even as we welcome Mr. Jinesh on stage. Finally, last but not least, our very own Mr. Jeevan Yanam, co-founder of Hatch. Beyond his role at Hatch, Jeevan is an active angel investor and venture partner focusing on empowering early-stage ventures and fostering Sri Lanka's entrepreneurial ecosystem. Welcome, Jeevan, to the panel of judges. All right, the panel's set, we're ready to go. I'm going to give the stage over to these 7 startups who will be pitching today. A quick outline of how it will work. Each startup will have 5 minutes to pitch, followed by a 5-minute round of Q&A. Startups, at 3 minutes, you will hear 1 bell. At 4 minutes, you will hear 2 bells. And at 5 minutes, you will hear 3 bells, at which point you will have to stop your presentation and traverse through any remaining slides. We kindly ask that the audience keep their phones on silent and give your full attention to the speakers that are on stage. Once all the presentations have been concluded, we will move out for deliberation, and then we will announce startups that are eligible for funding. So let's bring the energy up, keep the applause loud, and show us support as we welcome our top 7 startups as they pitch for Startup Nation today. Warm round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi everyone. We are from DiabSense, looking forward to save millions of lives. We have more than 40 years of combined expertise in medical product development, including a very capable engineering team and 2 medical professionals working with us on developing this product. The problem we have is that So the problem we have is that there are more than 700 million people in deep diabetic globally. Out of them, 45 million will develop foot ulcers within the next year to come. Unfortunately, 9 million will face amputations. That's where our solution comes in. We have 2 medical devices being developed, our clinical scanner and household scanner. Our household scanner scans the patient's feet daily and upload that data automatically to the cloud, where medical professionals with the help of AI will diagnose these images, and if any ulceration risk is detected, they will call the patient to hospital. At hospital, our clinical device will help the vascular surgeons to analyze these patients in depth and identify these issues properly, including blood circulations, calluses, and infections. Also, the same device is used to connect with the patients remotely. I'm sorry about the image slide. So, excuse us for the next slide. We are doing clinical testing for the last 10 months in NHSL Hospital Sri Lanka. Sorry about the images. We had to show that. You can clearly see that using thermal imaging, we can easily identify the blood circulation issues and infections. The bright yellow color represents the infections, heavy infections, and dark colors represent normally blood circulation issues, even the places where you have to do amputations. So we have fine-tuned this for longer duration, and we are quite confident of the usability of this product. In the world, we are catering a number of unmet needs, including no one is offering a full feet scan at home, and then 2 devices working at hospital and at home, augmenting each other and offering comprehensive functionality is quite new. And this kind of thermal imaging is not commonly used. Sri Lanka, no one is using that for the moment. So it's a quite new category of devices in medical. We have already applied for 2 patents, and the 3rd one is being drafted. We are looking at a 45 billion TAM because it's a huge market, and the individual cost of amputation is quite high. But for the next, by 2037, we are focusing 200 million if we are going alone with that, because we are going from country to country slowly, from smaller countries like Singapore, UAE, and then going for Western Europe and US markets. But it will continue to grow for the next 2 decades to come. And it will be mostly subscription model, because we are offering them daily scans and diagnosis. We will be charging them monthly. So 80% of the revenue will be coming as subscription. We are, for the moment, bootstrapped. We spent over $250,000 of our own money on this development so far. We are looking for pre-seed investment and trying to launch this product in 2029, which is a very compressed timeline because of our expertise in development and the current state of the product. Normally, it takes a decade for this kind of product to develop and put it in the market. Sorry about it. So the only viable competition we have is in Podimetrics, who are in US, growing rapidly, 100% every year. But they are offering only for sole area scan, and the viable, only meaningful competition viable alternative is custom footwear, which is avoiding the ulcers but not warning you when you are there's an ulcer coming in. We are looking for 850K for the next 16 months at a 6 million valuation, mainly for product development and certification. Let me briefly say why DiabSense is a great investment opportunity. This is a medtech device which will be used by the doctors for a decade to come, and patients for at least 3 years for individual patient. It's quite stable. When you launch it in the market, you can lock that market for many decades to come. And it's quite new in this field. So we think that it will be a great opportunity for the investments. And we are looking for an acquisition model for the exit. Initially, bigger companies like Philips and Medtronic would love to get it, or IPO if we fail that. And thank you very much and we would like to invite you to join us in saving millions of lives.
Could you walk through your team, like the background of you and your team? That's the first question. Second is, how does this product intervene? When is the right time for someone to get a scan, and how do they know where do they have to come?
Yeah. So our team, our main business is developing medical products to US and European markets. So we have a good team of engineers who are expert in developing similar products, and from early idea to the certification. So we are having really good experience for the last 5 years on developing these products, but this is the first time we are putting a product to market, our own. All the other products are contract developments. And on the touch point, normally doctors identify these patients on the clinics and when they got an ulceration first, and then normally prescribe custom footwear. At that time, they were already identified as high-risk patients. Exactly at that time, doctor will prescribe these devices for insurance reimbursement. So the patient won't pay for that. Insurance will take care of that.
Get it. But how does the footwear help in reversing the situation? Like today, if a doctor prescribes a custom footwear, how does that reverse the current situation?
So it doesn't reverse. It only protects these patients from getting the next ulceration. It fairly protects them, but not at all the time. But when the ulceration actually happens, there's no way to know about it. Our device is the solution for that.
You mentioned that the solution is cloud-based.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Looking at those markets you are targeting, how do you address GDPR issues in terms of client privacy?
So for European region, we can have one center, but in most of the US, we have to have separate center, and likewise for each and every country, the regulation is quite different. So you want to go to smaller countries first, like UAE, Singapore, lock it there, adhere to their regulations, and each country we go will have different regulations. But luckily, the whole European Union is now combining those data centers into the same place. But we'll have multiple data centers, not in a single place. This is a cloud-based solution with medical professionals in there.
Can you talk a little bit about the business model? Is this a medical device vertically integrated, or is this a software as a medical device from an accreditation and regulation standpoint?
No, actually it is two separate medical devices. Household device and clinical device are quite two different devices, but both are using the thermal and visual scanning. So we'll be certifying this as two medical products, and then we'll be certifying the cloud-based also.
So how, you said 80-20 split. What are you as a customer paying? Is it the end customer, the user, or is it an intermediary?
It's always insurance companies, because it will be way cheaper for insurance company to pay for this one than paying for the amputations. In US, it's 3 times cheaper, 4 times cheaper. In Europe, it's 3 times cheaper.
Do you have any clues as to how much this is going to cost to get accreditation and reimbursement?
Yeah, so for accreditation of DCS, we have done it before for other companies. So at least for both the devices and cloud, it will be 400,000 minimum.
I think one main concern I noted was your launch is in 2029.
Yes.
Okay, so from then to now, how do you, I mean, you know, there's nothing stopping anybody from, it's a long time and a lot can happen. Yeah. So what's your plan in terms of protecting this concept and the product?
So we believe that we can fully get the full feed scan at home, and maybe combine devices, household and clinical together. But for the full feed scan at home, we are quite confident that no one can enter in that market. We patented the concept already, and not even any other resources are available on that concept. So we think that we can lock that up. Okay.
Have you got any LOIs with any insurance companies or MOUs? How do you know that these insurance companies will sign up with you at a later stage?
So you mean the insurance companies, right? In one case on the finance, the ROI is way better than any other medical device on this.
Have you had a discussion? Have you signed an LOI or anything?
No, we've had initial discussions with few companies in Netherlands, insurance companies, but nothing on concrete, because we have more than 2-3 years left for that, and our competitor is fully reimbursed. So we believe that is the correct model to go with.
Again, my question is the GTM, right? Like,
3 years is a long time. Is there a way, you said you've done this before with partners, is there a way that you can work through them to kind of get there faster and maybe they invest in you or this thing? Because I think even if we would look at it as an investor, we need someone in the know-how as a lead investor, which I told you, so is there something like that you can think of?
So we will always be working with certification partners. So for Europe and US, we need certification partners anyway. But this 3-year time period is quite crunch compared to our company took 12 years to come to market. We are putting it in 5.5 years. So we think that's really tight. Yeah. Thanks so much.
Hello everyone, I'm Kanishka from DirectPay. If you look at Sri Lanka, is a cash market, right? So 95% cash was there in 2015, and 2025 we are at 85. See, we just moved for 10 years, 10%. Right? There are problems associated with that. One is dealing with cash is an expensive matter. Even though you think that it's easy to pay by cash, the cost behind that is very huge. Inadequate POS terminals and digital payment channels also supporting cash to be transacted. Limited banking facilities for SMEs and micro SMEs because no transaction has been recorded and financial institutions cannot give lending. This all comes to poor financial inclusion. So what we bring into the table is seamless, instant, and connected, integrated payment ecosystem. So we have simple, user-friendly payment experience where you can quickly make payments, and it's convenient for both merchant as well as the customer. Instant, we have settlements on real time, near real time, as well as T+1, and improving cash flows for most of the ecosystem players. And we do interoperable with multiple banks and wallets, and also enable smooth transactions. So we provide IPG, biller services, POS, tokenization, and also Lanka QR with payment APIs and cross-border payments with remittance. So it's a one-stop shop cashless payment ecosystem where we are recognized and trusted by most of the schemes which is accepted in Sri Lanka. And we are bank agnostic where we do interoperability with JustPay and Lanka QR, and also cost-effective for both merchant as well as the customer. And we also have inclusive financial access to unbanked community, whereas we also provide white label solutions for banks and financial institutes with fast settlements. And this will bring the entire payment ecosystem together. Right, so this is how we do it, right? So we have a fully integrated switch, which is PCI DSS and running on ISO 27001 security standards, where all the payment channels are there, and we have connected multiple banks. So virtually, we are running on honest transaction routing. Right. So if you look at this market, it's about 11.6 trillion per year, whereas we have a service optimal market of about 1 billion. Right. So this is basically what we have proved. So in 2022, I was on the same stage, in same room, where we crossed just 6 billion rupees, and today we are 52 billion we have crossed, and over the period of last 6 years we've grown tremendously with a CAGR of 196. So we have up-to-date revenue of 1.3 million with about 24 million plus transactions, and our average ticket size is about 28. So we have partnerships with MasterCard, Visa, and also we are approved from Central Bank to operate as a PSP through a couple of banks. Right. In order to accomplish this, since we are doing routing transaction through a switch, we are PCI DSS certified, and we are also ISO 9001 and ISO 27001 certified. And this is our journey, which has been so far since 2019. We provide for most of the insurance companies, even with some of the large corporates as well as e-commerce vendors. And we also provide 5 banks with this solution. Right. So these are our business model. We generally charge a 0.5% commission on transactions on average. And this is our go-to-market plan, where we basically provide certain platform enablement, BNPL, SNPL, as well as payday loan and device financing and insurance. And we provide channel strategy for most of the non-acquiring licensed bank. We provide the service, fintechs, and also cross-border and remittance. We are also looking at emerging market categories like government payments, education, and also EV market. Right, this is our team. So we have a well-experienced team who had been running the show for the last 6 years. And this is what our ask. So we've been valued at $8 million USD with the NDB Investment Bank, and we are looking at a raise of 20% on 1.6 million. Thank you.
If I may go first.
Yes.
So just 2 things. One thing is I think you all have been operating for a while and you've already achieved a certain level of market scale.
Sure.
Also at the same time, the market is crowded. What has been your clear USP? That's one. And for the next few years, given where you are, where do you see yourself wanting to focus? I know you mentioned lots of initiatives, but where do you see your focus point to pivot and sort of step out of the crowd?
Right. So first thing is, our competition is cash. We don't consider. So if you look at the same space, we have banks, we have other fintechs, we have other IPG aggregators, but they are also in competition, but our biggest competition is cash. So we are looking at how do you enable cash transaction to become digital. In that journey, it's basically how do you mechanize or how do you automate different payment channels. So that is our strategy. So payment engine is the core engine, but you have to basically make the rails to work to get there. So that is one. The second thing is we are on B2B operation. Most of our customers, 99% customers are on B2B operation. We provide services for most of the banks and finance companies. So we don't actually go to market in terms of onboarding merchants. So if you look at all this is done with 125 merchants, whereas our competitors has done it with 4,000, 5,000 merchants. We look at 125 merchants, we concentrate and we go for large volume and large ticket size.
Can you identify a switch company in Southeast Asia or any emerging market
similar technology,
similar to what you do?
M2P.
And how successful have they been?
So they are doing in trillions. The switching companies are doing really well. And also Bankstack is there, so they are also doing...
and what do their valuations look like?
Far more ahead than us. I don't have the numbers right now, but they are doing really well in terms of numbers.
I don't think they are. I think that's what you need to look at. Look at all the other switch companies globally, particularly in emerging markets. The numbers you talk about are volume numbers.
Yeah.
The unit economics of these businesses are extremely poor. So when you think about switching as a business, it's not scalable without a huge amount of capital investment. And if digital public infrastructure kicks in Sri Lanka, which it will do through QR at some stage, you're going to be completely commoditized.
Yeah. So we do support the QR channels also.
What happens if it goes free?
Sorry?
What happens if it goes free, like UPI in India?
Yeah, so that's yeah. So they're already here, and we also have done the integration with them. Yeah.
Just to that point, I think you mentioned remittances, and you also mentioned B2B, working with the bank, right? Most banks see their card this thing as a headache, right? Like merchant acquisition, etc. Can you tell us a bit about the growth in those, like remittances? What are your numbers today, and also maybe the B2B acquisitions on the banks, etc. as well?
Right. So if you look at the remittance total market, it's about per month, it's about 1 billion market. right? So we pay basically on the card transaction rail. So our remittance is not on washer accounts. It's mainly you download app, you put your card, and you make the payment in any time. So you don't need to go through a money transfer agent, or you don't need to go exchange house. It's clearly cleared over Sri Lanka, and we use the local rates like SEFT to send transaction. So that's the business that we do. In terms of remittance, cross-border market has really expanded post-COVID. We had a lot of other channels where Mundial and other channels which was bringing in money. But now it has come into a regulated channel because there are benefits as well as there are tax implications if you are bringing money and to declare how the money movement went. So that market we see as a big market, and we are partnered with Visa and Master for both on that.
What's the rates on SWIFT or SEFT that you're talking about versus maybe using something like a coin or a stable coin?
Crypto. So fortunately, right now, we are protected in Sri Lankan market because they're not allowing the cryptocurrencies in, right? But yes, that's a challenge, and we are also looking on that path of basically getting into crypto, at least to do the first mile of transaction and last mile to go on fiat. Thank you.
Do we start? Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm super excited to be here today. I'd like to talk a little bit about this whole revolution that's happening with AI. I think the single biggest advantage that AI brings to people is the ability for it to accelerate the human potential. And that's something that we're really excited about at Docupath. We're 4 founders all together. There's Julius, Oscar, Alex, and me. And we've all worked in small companies before that have gone on to be IPO'd or have got acquired. In my previous stint, I was working in India, where it was a retail chain. I was group CTO. We IPO'd it on the National Stock Exchange. Julius, Oscar, and Alex were part of a fintech company that got acquired by Thomson Reuters after being listed on the NASDAQ. The space that we operate in is the intelligent document processing space. What that means is that you take unstructured business documents like invoices, purchase orders, contracts, etc., and then you convert them into structured formats so that they can be sent to various other third-party platforms like tax authorities and ERP systems. It's about a $6 billion market, and it's growing at a 30% CAGR. So there's a lot of opportunity to play in that space. If you look at the predominant technology and how that works, essentially what happens today is that when you send a business document in, it gets scanned using a scanner. And so if you've ever looked at the OCR technology, it's good at reading but not really good at understanding. So what people use is machine learning workflows. What that means is that you'll draw boundary boxes on the document, and then you need to train it with thousands and thousands of templates. And of course, all of this breaks because documents come in various formats, languages, and they can be very messy. And so because of that, you have teams in countries like Sri Lanka where you actually have data entry operators that key all of this in. This is an inefficient process. On an SLA, it's about 24-hour turnaround time, and it's high cost, so it costs between 1 to 4 euros depending on the document type and all of the downstream operations that follow. We can essentially do this in around 30 cents and in 8 minutes, so that's really where we add or we bring in value. Okay, this is not trying to make it work. Yep, I did. Start my slide. Okay, so in terms of unique value propositions, as you know, LLMs are out there and everybody can take one and use it. Essentially, we have a few things that we do to make us stand out. We are training our own large language model where we have verticalized LLMs specific for a particular task. In addition to that, we have a thing called an AI model garden, so that as AI models continue to improve, we can adopt them easily. And we can also do things like schema-specific multi-shot prompt engineering approaches, as well as downstream processing effects. Like, for example, if a purchase order comes in addition to giving a capture solution, we can do things like transformation rules, rejection rules, natural language instructions that make us stand out from our competition. So now I'll hand over to Julius to talk about the competitive positioning.
Cool. Thanks, Sharon. So all of us here, we're using WhatsApp or Messenger, etc., to communicate. And it works quite well. We don't send letters anymore back and forth. That's not the case for businesses. There's a lot of unstructured data that goes through and through. And this is really a market that I believe needs to be disrupted. I've spent the better part of 15 years of my life within it, and it's still a long way to go. You see some of the players here on the left-hand side, everything from OpenText to UiPath, Microsoft, Highland, etc. And what Sharon were talking about earlier, many of them use OCR with ML capabilities on top. What's the revolutionizing aspect here is the launch of LLMs and the power that those brings, not only for reading and extracting data, but really understanding the context. So really operating like a human, like an agent. One more time. Sorry. We should have done it one more. We think we have a unique scalable go-to-market strategy. I've spent a lot of times looking at how we do this better, and there are a few niche players that have really tried this on a later stage of the puzzle, so from 2017 and onwards. Here, we think that we can do it even better by making sure that we have a go-to-market that's a partner approach, because if we partner with solution providers and service providers, we can get a way better reach than other organizations. Our plan for now, from September to the end of the year, is really to draw on our networks and extended contacts that we have within the space to get those partnership agreements going. Phase for 2026 early is to launch a few of those partnership established sales operations in Europe as well as in the US. A bit of the early traction already is everything from a partnership with Pagero, Thomson Reuters, as well as J&J. Different industries, different organizations. The beauty of the technology is that we can handle all different kind of message types, from orders, health records, and we can digitalize them to any system. And on the right-hand side, we have some early conversations that we also are working on. Roughly around $4 million US in ARR is what we're anticipating as it stands. And as of January, as it looks at the moment, we will be cash flow positive. So that's in a nutshell where we're at this stage. We're not racing, but we really look forward to getting a lot of contacts because we are planning to do a seed A round in 2026. So thank you.
Just a couple of questions. Your distribution model, you spoke about a partner model as well. Any reason as to why partner and not franchising? Point one. The second point is, on your pricing structure, this is a volume game, obviously.
Sure.
Are you looking at per click, or are you looking at the saving you get because of switching from OCR to something else, and getting a percentage of that?
So on the first one, our primary go-to-market at this stage is through partners, but it's more based on our experience before where we have relationships. We're not by any means opposed to franchising if that would be an opportunity in certain regions, but we think we can capitalize faster on the partnership motion at this moment. On your second question, definitely there's a numbers game. We want to get as many transactions through as possible. What's the benefit compared to sort of legacy solutions as OCR that would typically charge simply per transaction? With AI and LLMs, we can add intelligence on top, and that's the sort of additional value that's being delivered. I would love to be able to charge a percentage. I've tried that in my previous industry. It works on a few deals here and there, but the sad reality, it doesn't scale. And here, we want to reach as many companies as possible as quickly as we can. So we're going to go for a very standardized approach through partners so they can really embed Docupath in their existing solutions.
What do you expect to be the gross margin on your pricing? Because you're going to have to pass through the underlying processing cost.
Yeah, it will differ depending on message type, first of all. So that's going to be a high sort of influencing factor. If we look at a purchase order where the charging point is roughly around 2 to 3 euros or $2 to 3 US, then it's going to be 90% plus in terms of gross margin. If we look at medical records where the cost sensitiveness is completely different, so it's really going to be a volume game within different components. On a balanced level, we're looking at somewhere between 50 to 60%.
Sorry, it wasn't clear to me. Have you raised before?
No.
Okay. Wouldn't it be smarter to just say, hey, we're raising on a safe note, if you needed to?
Well, could do. Could do. Fair enough. Not opposed to that.
What's the difference? Why would somebody want to kind of move to a platform like this, if they could get these things done in markets like Sri Lanka with cheap labor, wouldn't you be more expensive anyways?
I think there's a couple of factors. So when you would do it with a resource perspective, you're very dependent on the human brain, the agent or the person that's sitting there, and that is disruptive. So if that person were to leave, then it's going to impact your business operations.
So what's the delta in terms of, what's the delta doing it manually in a country like Sri Lanka versus using you?
Roughly about, not only Sri Lanka, I think that is the one component of it, but roughly 50% cheaper to do it in this fashion with higher accuracy and quality.
So you're going to be still cheaper even by using low labor costs in markets like Sri Lanka?
Not our objective, but if our partners decide to offer the solution in that way, that's at their discretion. So again, we're going to build ourselves into their platforms. Yeah. If they decide to charge a premium for it, then we rev share that. We're all fine with it. But there are definitely going to be cases where there is sort of a race towards the bottom from an extraction perspective, where the value comes in is the contextual understanding and putting the right information at the right place.
I would also say from our experience, the human approach is very error prone. So for example, in different markets, different languages, today they have to use things like Google Translate. There are certain document types, for example, an invoice in the fashion industry, where they say break the line items down by style code, where then they have to do all of that manually. And so it is very error prone in that sense. So if you have a tool like this that then enables you, that really accelerates the process. We've also seen examples with customers where now when someone uploads a document, that user themselves, because the accuracy is much higher, they can do the last line validation rather than outsourcing it to a separate team in a country like Sri Lanka to do that.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
Hello. I hope everybody is having a good evening. My name is Kalana from Scouts. I have a question for the audience. Have you or somebody you love, somebody you know, a colleague, has been harassed or followed or put in a confrontation situation where their safety was compromised? If you have heard of something like that, please raise your hand. Thank you. 70% of humans face a major threat in their lifetime. And in these situations, there's very little that you can do. Maybe we can try to fight or run away. That sometimes works. But in most cases, there's very little we can do, and safety is not on demand. Humans have most of our basic human rights on demand. If we are hungry, we can quickly order some food on Uber, Grab, Pick Me, anything. We can get a transport very fast. We can get houses, accommodation, hotels. But we have overlooked the space of safety and security. What if we can get you a first responder in these situations within 90 seconds to the location, who can talk to the victim, who can deter the attacker, try to talk to the attacker, alert the authorities that are in that locality, call for the local hospitals, get the ambulance or even fire trucks. Essentially, be a solution that will help you get through that situation safer and better. And most importantly, in 4K and infrared, gather evidence so that if a situation escalates, now you have evidence that can be shared with the authorities. We have a team of entrepreneurs, engineers, and great advisors who are helping us build this solution. People who have built startups in Sri Lanka, Singapore, and got funding from Draper Associates and the like. Engineers who have worked in the defense sector in Singapore, as well as the US DoD. With this great team, we are building Scouts. It's a drone-based first response solution, which will essentially get a drone in 90 seconds to the location when you call for the SOS. And this drone will have floodlights, speakerphones, and the capacity to record this whole scenario. And we'll send 2 drones at the same time, and they will essentially help you navigate this situation better. if you look at a location like Hirikatia, we are looking at starting from tourist hotspots and getting into urban areas. 2 of these launch pads will cover the entirety of Hirikatia. And based on the frequency of crime, we can add more launch pads as well. These are our own proprietary AI models, our own drone manufacturing, and we also take extreme care when it comes to the security. What we realized is we can use this particular solution and go to market right now. Because when it comes to public safety, there's a lot we need to take care of. It's not an MVP that we can just send out there. So we spoke to clients in private security, and we are using our drones for automated patrolling, using CCTV and object detection systems as triggers and get the drone there faster. So our main 2 use cases are private security and public safety, but we have a lot more that we can do with this solution. We are way ahead of our roadmap, and we have made some really good progress, and our prototype will be ready in a month. In a span of 3 months, we validated the product with customer adoption and agreements worth $18 million, built the prototype drone, which is currently in testing, gained very good investor traction. We have 120,000 committed, started working with civil aviation, government agencies, and universities, onboarded experts from business and technology fields, partnered with expert organizations in human-elephant conflict to aid in public impact projects, and hired some impressive engineers to the team. This is one of our key clients who are using our solution before the end of this year. We have made really good partnership with Center for Conservation to use our solution as an early warning system for human-elephant conflict. And we also have incredibly talented Sri Lankan engineers, PhD holders who are working in Singapore, US, who are coming back to Sri Lanka to build this solution with us and partner universities like University of Moratuwa. The private solution, there are other solutions that you can take, plug and play, and implement, but it's not a managed solution. You have to do it yourself. But with our solution, it's a lease model and a subscription where we will be there to help you set up, maintain, and upgrade the solution. Currently, the pricing for Sri Lanka is $3,000 for the drone and the vertiport. Subscription is $350 per drone. We are raising $1 million in pre-seed. We have 120 committed in the angel round, and we have a few global VCs that will be coming in January. We'll be generating 110,000 with just 6 of the clients in our pipeline, 6 of the locations in our 2,000 pipeline, and 2.6 million with 150 locations. So next time you are feeling threatened, please call a scout. Thank you very much. I would like to invite my team to the stage.
Kalana, if I recall, you said that you're going to, the drones will be locally manufactured?
Correct.
Right. So I think currently most of it is imported. I think what's being used in the market, DJI being one of them.
Correct.
So have you done a map with, I know while price you can compete.
Yes.
Have you done a map of features and quality and whether you can deliver that? And how scalable is it for you to do it here?
That is a very good question, and thank you very much for that. Because if we are using something like DJI, we will pay 3 to 4 times the price of manufacturing it ourselves or assembling it ourselves. One of the main reasons why we can do that is because we have people who build drones for a long time, joining us and making sure that this is a targeted use case. DJI is generalized. You can do many different things with it. And that's one, the cost factor. Second thing is customizability. Things like DJI doesn't give you a mission control center that you can use the drones and put your own automation system into it. That's near impossible to do with. And thirdly, most importantly, this is security solutions. 1 out of 3 chips that come to the United States are compromised. So we can't have a security solution with a compromised chip. We will never get into a market like India with a solution like that. So those are the 3 reasons why we are building it ourselves. It's cost effective, scalable, and it fits our roadmap better.
My question is, I'm struggling to see Sri Lanka as a market here, right?
Yeah.
Simply because adoption here might not be on the forefront, right? So you mentioned $18 million. How are you getting, like what
so 2,000 plus locations with an average of 2 drones being deployed in industrial parks, plantations, warehouses, and they are already using AI-driven CCTV cameras. These are companies that will help us distribute this solution within the country. So this is just within 3 weeks of
Okay,
starting.
so Sidetrack, for example, has 2,000 locations, which they want you to deploy this on.
Not just Sidetrack, but like our clients that we signed up.
Yeah.
And Imadu was our genius who got that done in 3 weeks as well. And
He's just being too generous.
and Hafsa was the person who saw the big vision of this, and we expanded it just beyond public security, went for private security, and then we can look at surveying agricultural land, delivering medical equipment. As a drone manufacturer, our capability and use cases will be immense once we set up our initial manufacturing.
Okay.
Why does this sound so easy?
That was my question as well. One day I was just driving down the road and I called up my friend who's the CTO. I was like, why do you think this is not done? Do you think this is impossible? And then he was working on an agri-tech drone. And then he was like, I think I can just use this schematic. This is very easy. And then we started talking to authorities because that's one critical component. So what we realized is drone technology has gotten dramatically cheaper over the last few years. AI, the same. It's just you need to have the right team that knows what to do, knows how to get the business use case out of it, and also to know how to implement it as well.
Yeah, and another thing is it's coming. We're just ahead of the curve right now.
No, I think it sounds everything going right for you, okay, in 3 months. You're great
First
at
time
tech.
an investor said that's
you're
a
great at
problem.
tech. You're great at business acquisition, customer acquisition, and you're getting this at US kind of prices. $350 for a drone per month is US level pricing, not South Asian pricing.
Yeah.
So there's something that's not adding up,
Yeah.
right? Like, and you haven't raised capital. Like,
We
I'm just
have
trying
commitments.
to get sense of that.
No, we
Like,
have
but
commitments.
you don't have the capital for the work you've done, right? So I'm just trying to make sense of how have you hustled it your way through, right? Kind of.
I'm a third-time founder. This has actually been quite, I would say, a comprehensive addition of all these different startups that I've done, different things I've learned, how to go to market faster. For an example, one of the interactions that I had, they were like, how can you get clients onboarded without a product? You go to talk to them, ask them, is this a problem? And the moment we went, they were like, oh my God, this is a problem. We were thinking about it because we are losing security forces like personnel every day. We have a churn of 100% within a 3 months time period. We are not going to survive in this market without technology. And this is something we were looking for. So like Hafsa said, we are just a little bit ahead of the curve. This is only something that is founded in 2016. But over the last year, there has been so many drone companies that have been in this space. And some of our clients who are having plantations in Africa are already using this as well. So this solution, which is a lot more expensive than ours. Thank you very much.
Should we say it? Okay. Hi, my name is Sean Sinrath, and I'm the founder of Seashore Garden. And our company is on a mission to unleash the boundless potential of seaweed here in Sri Lanka. But that's not all. We also want to highlight other superfood ingredients here in Sri Lanka, but we also want to empower rural communities within the north as well. So that's quite an ambitious goal. So we needed a deeply ambitious but deeply experienced team as well. So that's exactly what we set out to do. Our core leadership team comes with actually a friendship of over 20 plus years. We always knew we wanted to do something really special here in Sri Lanka. And that's where we found seaweed as a vector to drive change. But that's not all. We come with the expertise to back it up. Our core founding team comes with expertise in financial management, risk mitigation, agriculture, as well as R&D. We have them working some of the most reputable companies in the world, such as KPMG, Johnson & Johnson, and UN Safe Seaweed Coalition. But on top of this, we realized the expertise needed to execute is very important. That's why we got some industry-leading experts in our team who are veterans in their industry with over 10 plus years of experience running both the aquaculture division and B2B with us, as well as our R&D and food business side of things as well. Okay, so what are we trying to solve and what are we actually doing? So one thing for consumers, I don't know about you guys, but how many times have you gone to the shelf, picked up a product, and it either has way too much calories, way too much sugar? I know I've been there. Well, you're not alone, because 60% of consumers are now switching to healthy alternatives for snacks. So that's something we realize and we're trying to capitalize on. But that's not all. For the planet, projects such as aquaculture has huge potential, especially in an island nation such as Sri Lanka, but the potential is underutilized. We are trying to tap into that. Along with this, we see communities, especially women and youth in the north, lack job opportunities. So what do? We have a two-way business model. We have a farm to export and a farm to table business model. So we work with over 50 plus communities in the north where we do the farming with no middlemen, and we do about 1 to 2 containers a year. We are looking to scale that all the way to 3, 4, 5 containers a year. On top of this, we have an in-house R&D team that can fast-track develop wellness SKU products, such as our own brands, such as our Seashore Garden brand, which is currently out in the market. And of course, along with our ethos of women-led entrepreneurship and community support, we have over 99% of the tying and drying procedures are all done by women in the north. So what makes us different? What makes us special? One is our quality. We have been able to achieve 10 times the less impurities than the global industry standard, which immediately sets us apart. It's also our R&D and formulation team. We are able to fast-track SKUs. We have already made 6 products that are ready for the global market, fully scalable. So we've already developed various products such as CMOS beverages, gels, including biostimulants, and even natural powders and supplements. Here are some of the products that we have already developed and are ready to be scaled.
So we've already shown some early stage traction. In the last year, we've launched 6 new products. So that's a combination of our brand products as well as R&D projects that we've completed for clients. And from those R&D projects, we have an 80% conversion rate, taking those to commercial manufacturing. Additionally, we were the largest exporter of seaweed last year, and we're on track to be the largest exporter this year as well. That's ISO 9000 compliant as well. So we're positioned at the intersection of 2 massive markets, the hydrocolloid market and the global health and wellness market. So hydrocolloid market is basically seaweed and all its constituents. You'll find that in everything. If you go look for a compound called carrageenan, which is made from seaweed, you'll find that in yogurt, toothpaste, pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, you name it. And then the global health and wellness market, like Sean said, consumers are looking for healthier, sustainable alternatives every single day. So these markets are just growing, and we're positioning ourselves to capture that demand. Now, this is where I think the most value in our business comes from. We have a triple impact. So for consumers, that means we're giving them nutrient-rich, healthy, sustainable, and traceable products. And then for communities, especially in the north, we're giving them reliable and safe employment opportunities, cutting out middlemen and paying them way over market value. And then finally, for the planet, seaweed is one of the only carbon neutral crops, so it absorbs more CO2 than land crops, and it also deacidifies the ocean. So I'll quickly go through financial highlights. A chunk of the revenue last year has been through R&D and seaweed exports, and the rest is finished products. So as we scale and we start commercializing these products and getting them into new markets, this will only grow. And this multiple revenue sources means that we mitigate risk and we can quickly learn and get feedback as we are scaling. So we're looking for $60,000 for 15% of the company, and that will be used to scale up our manufacturing, continue our product innovation and the R&D space, and then finally to improve our community network. So we want to have communities all over the country, not just the northern province, so then we're weather resilient. And then finally, exit strategy. We can already see global CPG brands are looking for IP-backed, sustainable and supply chain-backed brands. So we're positioning ourselves as a really attractive target in that pipeline. So I'll just go past recognition partnership, but thank you so much for your time here at Seashore Garden. We're powered by seaweed, we're driven by community, and we're built for global wellness. So I welcome you all to go try some of our products. We have a booth at the back there, and you can try some of the drinks for yourselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just a quick question on the margins. What are your GP margins right now?
GP margins are, for the entire company, around 30%, but that varies from product to product. So on the raw material, we're looking about 15 to 20%, and then on our own drinks, we have about 35%. On the CMOS gel, our best-selling product, we have a 90% margin, because it's only CMOS and water in that.
Yeah, and also for R&D projects, we have about a 56% margin. That's pretty healthy, just like our products.
I love you guys, right? Like I've said that.
We love you too.
Why do you need capital? Because you said you're raising 60K and you showed commitment of 130K, so that's oversubscription.
So main reason is we want to scale up manufacturing so we can reach more markets.
No, but the question is, are you going to take 130 versus the ask of 60K, or are you going to let a few folks not invest in you?
No, so we already have 130 committed. So we would need all of that for us to achieve all of these things that we're trying to do, because we have different projects that we want to allocate capital to.
Is your ultimate sourcing going to come predominantly from the north in Sri Lanka?
Yes. Yeah. Currently, it's predominantly from the north. It's from Jaffna and Keynote district, but we're looking to expand into other regions as well already.
Is it predominantly onshore or offshore?
It's it's on the water offshore, but it's shallow water.
Out.
Yeah.
So, as you may or may not be aware, the northern province commands around 22% of the coastal land in the country, right? There is a predominantly a challenge. One is the environmental, the management issue, and the second thing is the competition and conflict with our big neighbor for that same water space. How do you expect to manage that in terms of continued assurance of your supply source?
Yeah. So one thing is the immediate, that's underutilization. So NARA and NACTA have already allocated just in one area in Keynote about 2,400 hectares, which has already been validated for aquaculture projects. So even in terms of the immediate space, we have enough and more to expand. But like you rightfully said, there is, of course, as we grow into a large entity, we'll have to look at sustainable scaling and defensibility.
The only reason I said that in the best of interest is currently if I look at something similar on sea cucumber, the current regime has allocated 2,000 hectares, but maximum 1 acre per farmer. So I'm just passing that as a challenge to think about. Right?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for the time.
Good evening, everyone. The future of pet care is here. My name is Temia Gamani Tilaka, and this is Lakshan Kulatilaka. We are the co-founders of PetDoc. I have over 20 years of industry experience in logistics and operations. Lakshan, he has over 20 years of industry experience in providing technical solutions. And our chief consultant, Dr. Gayana Fernando, she has over 20 years of industry experience in research and consultation. So we've been pet lovers since childhood, and it's our passion. And we know that we have the industry know-how to move forward and support the pet community. So why PetDoc? I'm sure many of you pet lovers has experienced a lot of pain points, which is not local, but this is a global issue. Trying to find information from vets, who's going to look after your pet when you are away, on your dream vacation, finding the best groomer in town, and also, in case if you run out of medicines, who are you going to reach out to? To get a better understanding, let's have a look at the video, but considering all these factors, we introduced PetDoc. It's an all-in-one platform for pet care services.
The world has been changing rapidly in the last few decades. Not only with how we watch movies, go on trips, and order food, but how we consume medical services has evolved drastically. While all these services are only focused on us, now there is a new revolution in the market in how you take care of your loving furry friends. Imagine being able to keep track of their vaccination dates and find product and service providers for your pets at the press of a button. Now it's all possible with PetDoc, the only dedicated mobile app for the well-being of your pets. With PetDoc, you can now channel a doctor, scan your area to find a suitable pet hospital, or even consult a doctor online and take care of your pets even if you are stuck at home or work. Extending our services to a variety of exciting offerings, you can now find the best service providers for pet grooming to help your pets look dandy. Take care of your pets while you are away through pet sitting, pet boarding, and kennel services, or even find the best pet trainers to train and teach your pets to be obedient. And while our lives keep getting busier and more convenience driven, why leave any exception in how you take care of your furry friends?
So what's so unique about PetDoc? It's a unified digital ecosystem for pet owners. For example, we have 4 main pillars, which is the veterinary services, the pet service providers, the pet community services for pet shelters and pet adoptions, and e-commerce platform too. So looking at the market size globally, it's a $260 billion market with a CAGR of 5.4% and rising. And as you can see, this photograph was taken at the Singapore Pet Festival. A lot of Gen Z crowd, they consider their pets as their own children, and they invest heavily on pet grooming and pet accessories. So traction is that we have over 6,500 app downloads with animal hospital located in 40 plus locations island-wide, including the pet service providers. And like I mentioned earlier, a lot of pet community around the world has this problem. So we have received invitations from Singapore, Philippines, India, and Hong Kong. So where are we now? We have over 100 plus service providers, pet food suppliers, and other partners such as pet flash health for pet medicine, and we have onboarded the world's second largest animal welfare organization, Animal SOS. So looking at the competitor analysis, other competitors in Sri Lanka and in Singapore, they have only fragments of the pet space, whereas we are a super app. These are a few testimonials from our happy pet parents. So our go-to-market strategy is that we have already completed stages 1 and 2, and we look forward to scale up to Southeast Asia while introducing and getting the feedback from our pet owners to introduce AI models into our app and build it and make them the stakeholders of our company. So this is how we plan to utilize the funds, mainly focusing on sales and marketing within the next 18 to 24 months and app development. And lastly, I would like to mention that whether we take baby steps or a giant leap, we have the passion to move forward. Hence, we believe in the world that we can change it. Thank you very much.
Could you run us through the financials of this? How you
we were able
price
to
this? What is your revenue proposition here? How do you make money?
Yes, so we are currently running it on subscription-based models. So we have about 15 to 20%, which is running in from the pet service the pet services.
Yes, it's basically through commissions for all the pet owners. When they get a service, we charge a percentage of that, And we, as for the pet products, we use a subscription model for that.
Do you have a sense of what your cost of acquisition is? Because this is a direct-to-consumer model, right?
The cost of acquisition is $5, and the LTV is $304.50 for 7 years.
For 7 years.
The lifetime of an average pet.
But
it'll be more, but
that's not how LTV works, right? So
come again.
Okay, we'll park that for a second. When you define your model, which is a commission-based model, what stops anyone from disintermediating you? Because it's now an open marketplace, right?
Absolutely. So, considering the competition, they have only fragments which they have introduced in the pet space, but we have a huge array of services that has been introduced where you can use it with the click of a button.
Yeah. In addition to that, actually, it's the convenience, plus there are a lot of services for a pet owner to stay in the app, basically. When you are doing an online consultation, and you can get your medicine delivered right to your doorstep, right? The whole life cycle, where you have, if you need to get the pet products, do the grooming from them, everything is inside this app.
When did you launch the app?
It was launched 3 years back.
And what's your repeat rates?
Come again?
Repeat purchase rates?
So that's about 80% of the existing customers.
So what's your monthly revenue right now?
So 200,000.
200,000 Lankan rupees, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So don't you think if there was this physical store or a physical small one-shop clinic, they probably do more than that in a month?
Absolutely they will. But we are introducing other services as well.
But this 200,000 is GMV or revenue?
This is revenue.
So this is if you're taking 15% take rate, this 200 is at 15%, correct?
The main reason is that we are doing this part-time. We are not full-time.
And what's stopping you from going full-time?
It's the funds. We need to raise funds.
But if you have 200K in revenue, shouldn't that pay for a good enough of it? Like, to be honest, like, what's your cost structure? Like, do you have a full-time team or something else?
The development team is actually outsourced, actually, so we have 2 or 3 developers in-house as well. So in terms of running, so the marketing is the main barrier that we have currently. So whereas we only do through social media.
Thank you very much.
It was equivalent. And I had no other choice. 9 o'clock, I can't talk to the pet. And luckily, I found this app. And there was a 24-hour doctor service for the pet. So a doctor consultant was there. I paid 1,500 rupees. And literally, that doctor took care of the pet. So if this product had $20 subscription per month to have that service for me, I would pay. Of course, there can be structural issues in the company, but the delivery was spot on. So really saved the pet and the feeling of that moment as well. So thanks a lot.
Hi everyone, I'm Devin. I'm the founder of Torch Labs. So we're essentially trying to be the backbone of data access. To get started off, I'm going to walk you through some of the problems. So one of the biggest problems e-commerce and retailers have is pricing intelligence. So they have little to zero visibility in terms of pricing fluctuations. So just a 1% price error causes up to an 8% fluctuation in terms of bottom line, right? And also 37% of the internet is powered by bad bots. So this breaks down legitimate web collection or data collection by companies, and it drives up their data pipeline. Also looking at AI, most companies spend millions of dollars in terms of collecting data sets to train their AI model. Just looking at OpenAI, they spend $250 million just in data sets to train their models. So we're trying to solve a billion-dollar data access issue. So the solution comes in the form of proxies. So in the simplest form, a proxy is essentially like a VPN. So if a VPN is like a car going on a narrow road, proxies are like a highway with millions of lanes, with millions of cars going to every single city in the world. So we are able to offer access as well as scale for companies. So we have 3 products, residential, ISP, and hybrid proxies. These are all enterprise-grade products. And then I also mentioned 3 niches, industries earlier, so AI, price intelligence. So if all these industries have their own proprietary tools to collect the data. So if the tool is like the vehicle, proxies are essentially the fuel to power these vehicles. So what really sets us apart from the competition is, firstly, we have a hybrid switching technology, which is something we've built over the last year. We're combining residential and ISP proxies together. We are able to give you speed as well as a huge IP pool of 120 million IPs. We are also providing industry-specific pools, so very niche industries. We are able to serve these. Most competitors offer a one-size-fits-all approach. We also have a white label solution, so this is for resellers. So this gives us a distribution flywheel effect. So we're able to get into new industries and new markets without spending any money on sales and marketing. And also this gives us intelligence in terms of what are the new and upcoming markets, as well as what are the products that are selling in those markets as well. And in terms of our pricing, we offer a SaaS-style subscription as well as a pay-as-you-go model. So this lowers the barrier of a customer working with us, and it increases our sales cycle as well. So looking at the market, the current proxy market is valued at $4.3 billion, and is expected to grow to $7.6 billion by 2032. Currently, we are aiming to just capture 1% of the market, which is valued at $76 million. And if you look at adjacent industries like AI, e-commerce intelligence, these are trillion-dollar industries. So as these industries grow, the proxy market is going to grow as well, as these are data-heavy industries. So breaking our business model, so we have 4 pillars. So firstly, we have direct sales, where we get our product into the end customer's hands, whether it be developers or companies. We also have a reseller API. So this is for proxy companies who want to expand their current offering, as well as add new geolocations as well, and have higher quality products. We also offer a white label dashboard, so any entrepreneur can work with us, or if you have a proxy adjacent tool like web scraping tools and stuff, you can start a proxy company within less than 24 hours. So we provide a fully managed dashboard within less than 24 hours. And we also offer managed infrastructure. This is for more mature proxy companies who want to run their IP collection in-house with us, as well as AI companies who want to do their data collection in-house. So options 2 to 4 really give us intelligence in terms of where the market is heading, and this is something competitors don't have as well. So this is a quick breakdown of our business lines, as well as where the customers really fit in. So looking at our current track record, so we've just over a year and a half, we made $600,000 almost. And our current revenue from Jan to August, $278,000. We're expecting to finish the year with $428,000 with a gross margin of 56%. We have a team of 14, and we have 80,000 direct customers from 73 countries, and 10,000 direct customers such as L'Oreal, Ads, Power, and Boiling Proxies. We're expecting to double our revenue to almost $1 million by next year. So we're trying to raise $500,000 just to break into new markets, double our direct users, and expand our product offering. And to power this, we have a lovely team coming from Huawei, Dialog, Flash, Shell, Tamana, Bank, ranging from marketing, sales, development, and data analytics, and myself from McGill and L'Oreal as well. So we hope you join us in our journey to give everyone free access to the internet. Thank you.
I'm going to ask you a really tough question.
Okay.
If I were to buy your company today for $5 million, would you sell it?
No.
Why not?
Because right now we are only serving the niche industries, and we've only captured just a handful of niches. There's thousands of niches out there. Just looking at our revenue, right? If we just deploy one salesperson for each of these niches, we can double, triple our revenue right now.
Go back to your slide of your different customer segments. Which is your highest margin segment? No, go back.
Yes.
Which is your highest margin segment?
So highest margin is direct consumer, so which is the proxy directly. Yeah.
Highest acquisition cost as well, correct?
Yes.
What's the reseller API?
So reseller API is where customers want to start a proxy company with us.
What's the margin on that?
So that's about so it depends. Like we offer, it's like a pay-as-you-go pricing, so higher volume. So we give a discount. So that's about, it ranges. So like we have customers paying us 70% margins. We have customers having 30 margins. Lowest is 35.
So when you think about your go-to-market,
yeah,
which do you think is going to give you the fastest and greatest scale on a profitability basis?
Probably the direct consumer route.
Is that based on what you think the competitors are telling you, or is that based on what you're seeing in terms of
data?
No,
we're seeing our reseller program really popping off because we don't, like, so basically we want to work with competition essentially.
So the problem in the reseller space, which is where your growth is going to come from, is you're going to get arbed out within about a year or so, right?
Sorry?
You're going to get arbitraged out.
So that's because let's say you're coming into the market, right?
So if you're a CDN today, how many CDNs in the world do what you do?
So you mean like Cloudflare and stuff like that?
Correct.
So Cloudflare, so we're basically a solution against Cloudflare almost.
Exactly. And so Cloudflare has two things to their advantage, right? Scale, pricing, and they don't pay for traffic.
Yeah, so Cloudflare won't ever sell proxies because they want web scrapers to even pay them, right, for access,
Correct.
right? So they want to fight web scrapers. So, but then the thing is, like, if you block us, because we're sourcing IPs from real devices, so it's like blocking you trying to access any website. So there's no way anyone can really block proxies, essentially.
Devin, I think of all the founders I've met in the last 3 days, you're probably the most impressive founder. But I think you don't realize how commoditized you're going to be and how quickly you're going to get crushed, right? The equivalent proxy for what you're doing, sorry, mind the pun, is the eSIM market, right, in telecoms. Got completely arbitraged. Now, I think the reason why I asked you the question of why would you not sell for $5 million is because if I paid you that $5 million to buy your company, I would take that, and whatever your next idea is, whatever you want to apply yourself to, I would 100% fund it. I think you have found a fantastic arbitrage. You have found a fantastic arbitrage. In a year's time, I bet you, your numbers will not be what you think they are.
Right.
So I think what you need to think about is to apply your skills, which are the best of any entrepreneur I've seen here, to something which can be truly scalable.
Yeah.
And I think today you think it's scalable, but you haven't done the market intelligence.
Right.
And half of your traffic will get crushed. I'm telling you this. We've seen it. Right? So you're not the first one doing this. And you know there are many torch labs out there in the world today, right?
Yeah.
So you need to pick your segment and you need to apply your skills because, I think you are one of the best founders I've seen here.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, so we're essentially, like you said, right? So we're trying to de-risk ourselves. So we're trying to go into the tools as well as go into AI and do the infrastructure part to provide for other, instead of doing the data side of things as well. So that's our future plan as well, in that sense.
Have you heard of scale?
Yes.
That's what you need to do.
Right, yeah.
If you want to be an infrastructure player, then do what they did.
Yeah.
Because today at $32 billion for what they essentially did was they made all the big boys basically fight until Facebook took them out.
Yeah.
You want to build the infrastructure, you're very backable.
Yeah.
You want to build an ARB trading business, you're not.
Right, yeah. Right. All right, thank you guys. Thanks.
Check, test. Check, testing 1, 2. All right. And with that, we conclude the top 7 startup pitches for today. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause to all of our startups who have pitched on this stage. And another round of applause for our amazing panel of judges who have been with us judging throughout. We're now going to move into the most important thing, the deliberation and finalizing who the top 3 startups are going to be. I'm going to ask Niresh from the Hatch team to take the judges outside, and we will go into a time of deliberation. I ask the audience to please remain seated. We are not done. All right. So in the meantime, we will have another speaker up on stage. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Prajit Balasubramaniam. He's the co-founder and managing partner of BOE Capital. All right. Suddenly got a bit loud in here. All right. So moving on to our next segment, Mr. Prajit has been instrumental in supporting early-stage startups in Sri Lanka, and he will come on stage to give an introduction to the HLAB Fund. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Mr. Prajit. Mic is okay, na?
Huh?
Mic is on.
Yep. Hi, everyone. Okay, so you all heard people, all the startup pitches happening today. I'm here just to give you an introduction on the HLAB Fund. This is actually, so for those who don't know me, my name is Prajit. I'm a fund manager. We run 3 funds right now. IAUM is about $17 million. And our first fund was launched in Singapore, second fund in Sri Lanka with Asia and Malaysia. And this would probably be the third fund that we're launching, again, in partnership with Hatch. Why are we doing this? Jeevan and I have been doing this for the last 15 years. Of course, he went on the incubator side, I went on the venture capital side. But we came together to see, because Sri Lanka is too small, we came together to see if we could actually make it a bigger fund, collective fund. Because if you look at the funding cycle, you have, you start from incubator accelerator, then you have angel investments, and then venture capital. Because Sri Lanka is too small, we wanted to create a small fund, which is called the HLAB Fund. HLAB was created because we felt that, with Hatch, LA stands for Lankan Angel Network, and B stands for BOV Capital. So that's how it was started off, right? And of course, LAN is also looking at coming in, Lankan Angel Network is also looking at coming in. But for the moment, as the Fund 3, I'm just going to point, I'll point here, okay. No clicker, right? No? Yeah, no, hold on. Sorry. So, the problem we have in Sri Lanka is currently what is needed in most successful countries is about 0.5% of GDP. The problem we have in Sri Lanka is that funding is not enough for startups. We have 0.0001, something like that, right? So when we started this off, we wanted to get to a point where the goal would be at least 0.1% of our GDP, which would be about 400 to 500 million. And that was the target when we started off 10 years ago. Today, I'm happy to say that we've been working with the government as well. And the president announced in Japan last week and obviously mentioned that there's going to be a sovereign fund of $50 million. There will be also a tax pass-through structure which is happening. So I'm part of that team that's working on the tax pass-through structure. And before coming here, I was at the Securities Exchange Commission because it's going to come under the collective investment scheme. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks or maybe in the next couple of months, we will have a conducive plan, at least a plan to get this on the road. So what does that mean for the startups, or what does that mean for funds like me? If I bring in an incorporated, let's say a $5 million fund, I can get a one-to-one match from the government fund, right? So that means collectively it's 10 million, right? So that's what you see here. The 10 million fund is for Sri Lanka, and we are looking at it from that perspective. The overall fund for Hatch will be about 25 million, of which 10 million will come in here, and 5 million will come in here, and then we will collect another 5 million from the government, and 20 million will remain for South Asia and Southeast Asia, right? And we are obviously looking at more South Asia because there's not enough capital there. But again, South Asia too, we are looking at only Bangladesh and Sri Lanka at the moment, probably Maldives a little bit, and maybe at a later date Pakistan. So that's the plan in terms of looking at the pipeline coming through. So why did BOV Capital partner with Hatch? Very simple. We wanted somebody to incubate startups and help them accelerate. And for us, as fund managers, we want to see the deal pipeline. So we set up stuff with Hatch a while back. I'm talking not yesterday, the day before, but in 2012. Right? And we created this partnership, and now it's becoming more and more official or institutionalized through the collaboration we have done. And happy to also say that Jeevan and I are co-founders of the Lankan Angel Network. So Lankan Angel Network was also looking at coming in and investing because the reason being that you can't run small funds. It's not very conducive. So today we are looking at a $20 million fund. A $20 million fund can be easily run and taken forward with a proper institutional structure. I'm just going to run through a few of these slides. So why Sri Lanka? You got a GDP of about 10 trillion in a 5-hour flying time. So you're talking MENA region, APAC region, so you have enough of, I suppose, the GDP in that sense, or economy, to capture. So for startups today, they don't have to go out there. They can be in the region and get things done. So that's why we are located quite well from a geopolitical positioning. We are also looking at the talent, the ICT exports, the robust tech talent and government initiatives, and the digitization. I mean, if you can see also the verticals that we're focusing on. Currently, if you look at our fund, we are focused on particular verticals that are the low-hanging fruits from the frontier markets, and they've been in the logistics sector, education sector, health tech sector, retail, financial service, and agri. If there are other sectors that are coming into the country, then we will also invite startups to come in and explore here, as long as it is conducive. This is what I spoke about in terms of the ecosystem today, in terms of the amount of funding that is today in Sri Lanka. Unfortunately, we are trying to unlock the local potential, and that's where the government has come and started helping in terms of the fund of funds. Just a bit of the exits that we have had. So my first fund from BOV Capital has returned back about 70% of the capital so far, just of 3 exits. We had 4 failures. 3 exits gave 70% of the capital. We have another 3 or 4 companies left to go forward. And that is, I'm talking, going through our economic crisis, our bombs. We lost 4 years. Out of the 7-year, 8-year lifetime of the fund, we lost 4 years. In that 4 years, we managed to return the capital, and also looking at Capital Plus. My second fund had 1 failure, 2 exits, 70% return on capital. We have another 8 companies left to go through. So you can see the pattern in terms of how the fund management works, and the success stories, because all these years we've been asked about exits, and it has been in the pipeline, but it hasn't been fruitful. This year in 2025, we've had 2 exits this year. We are having 1 right now as we speak. We'll have 1 company getting listed in probably next month, and another one in another exit in November. And that's the pipeline we're looking at, because this has all taken time. What you see in a fund, what you see initially are the failures, because we fail fast. So in the first 2-3 years, 4 years, you'll see a lot of failures. But the successful ones keep quiet and come through in the 7th, 8th year. And that's what we are seeing right now with the fund. So just to give you a perspective, the type of exits that have happened in the country overall, out of this, Ensinga, the second, third, on this side, that company they acquired by Ziringo was one of the first exits that we had in 2019. But since then, we have exited a few other companies as well. I mean, this is just talking about the advantages of VC funding versus going it alone, right? I mean, there are several reasons why you'd want to go through a fund manager, and in terms of getting the whole thing curated and getting exits through that. Right? So it's me and Jeevan who are partnered to do this. The Lankan Angel Network is looking at coming in a bigger way and looking to partner with us. So total fund size for Sri Lanka will be 5 plus 5 from the government, 5 from us, and that'll be 10. And overall hatch fund will be about 25 million. Right? So that's the whole idea. So 20 million in Singapore and 10 million here. So overall fund will be about 30 million altogether. Just wanted to give you an introduction of the fund for Hatch and HLAB, and I think that's about it. Thank you very much. Any questions, I'm happy to answer. We have more slides there, which I'm not showing, because that's, so usually we do this one-to-one with investors, with our LPs. We've got about 25 LPs globally, and we're just looking at raising more funds. I was just in Japan raising funds there. We've been in the Middle East, and all our 25 LPs are global LPs. So anyone who wishes to have a chat with us, please do come and meet me. I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you, Prajit. We're now going to move on to another exciting segment, the official launch of FunLanka.com. To take us through the milestone, it's my pleasure to invite Mr. Romesh Devanesan, please here, yes, and Jeevan Yanam. All right. He's just on his way.
Good evening, everybody, and it's very excited to be here. I think there's a lot happening and lots to be excited about. All these new startups coming in, and more exciting that they're going to be funded with $100,000 US. I think as a part of being a Sri Lankan and being in Sri Lanka, we are trying to do our best to be able to fund companies and individuals who have a dream. It's all about an idea that comes into play, and then you want to take that idea into the next level. They have so much of struggles, so many difficulties, and so many barriers to get across. But one of those barriers is actually being not the idea, not the execution, but actually the funding. So Jeevan and myself have come together, and we've created FunLanka. Basically, what FunLanka would be doing is having two portals together. One is for startups to be funded and also investors to connect with startups, as well as a crowdfunding platform for individuals and also institutions as well. So this will be a one-stop ecosystem that we created so that people with ideas, people with dreams can make it a reality. So today we're here to launch FunLanka, and when Jeevan's done, we're going to get him on stage as well, and we're going to launch this together. So just bear with me as they come in. Yeah? As he's running about. So, Jeevan, it's been a long journey, but we're finally here to introduce something very exciting to Sri Lanka. Okay. Over to you.
All right.
Okay, well done.
Okay. So I gotta go back to judging, guys.
Yeah, okay. Let's go.
Check, test. All right, so we are nearing the announcement of the winners. But before that, we have an exciting announcement to make on behalf of Hatch. And for that, we have to find Jeevan again. All right, so to make the announcement, I'm going to invite Suhail, our partner in the UAE, and Jeevan, again, to make this exciting announcement. I see Suhail. Yeah, okay.
Sorry, everyone. I think the judging this time was very interesting. We'll talk about it in a bit. But just before we want to, I mentioned it already, Suhail is our partner in UAE with Jazeer. Unfortunately, Jazeer couldn't make it this time. And we want to, I think Suhail's going to announce something, so go for it.
All right. So first of all, it's been amazing. Like, we came here 2 years ago. Jeevan invited us. We met the team. We were blown away by what they were building here. And we've learned many things. And over these 2 years, what we've realized is the best way to replicate what Hatch has nurtured and built is to just try and recreate it in the UAE itself. So we're happy to announce that we're investing $500,000 in Hatch. We're joint venture partners as well. We've just launched Hatch Valley. We're going to do our best to create something at least half as amazing as what they've built here, because the UAE has a beautiful ecosystem. It has many things going for it, but what it doesn't have, which we find Hatch has done beautifully, is the community that's been nurtured. And that's an ecosystem we want to build there, so that startups from the UAE can come here, have a gateway into South Asia, Southeast Asia as well. And, you know, startups from here, if they want to get into the MENA region, we want to be that partner that opens doors. So super happy to work with Jeevan.
It's super exciting for us. I think one thing Suhail failed to mention is the start date, which is...
Oh, we're launching next month, this month. It's October 1st, we're launching this month.
Thank you, guys.
Good job. Yay. You're announcing the winners? Test. All right. Who's ready to hear the results? Okay, I just see one hand. Maybe I'll just tell you then. All right, so 7 startups have pitched. And of course, everybody has potential. Everybody has the opportunity to grow and scale. Hatch is a place that will offer you those opportunities, will offer you those connections, will offer you all the support that we can. But this was a competition to select the best startups or the best businesses that are eligible for funding. So I have with me 3 names. Of course, one company did not seek any financial investment, but they are within the top 3. And then we have 2 companies that are eligible for funding, and those discussions will happen post this program. So before I announce it, can I please ask the judges to join me on stage? If I can have Jeevan, Deshani, Mr. Tyagaraja. Oh, we have only 4 judges. That's fine. All right, round of applause even as our judges join us on stage. Awesome. All right, so the first startup that has sort of come on the top of the scoring sheet. Let's give it up for All right, they gave me a confused piece of paper. Okay, right. So give it up for Docupath. Can we please have the founder join us on stage?
Docupath is second runner-up. Please come up.
All right, round of applause even as the founder joins us on stage. first runner-up, eligible for funding from Startup Nation, is Seashore Garden.
Yeah.
I really think we should have some music. And the winner, scoring the highest, I think this was a no-brainer, is Torch Labs. Congratulations to all the startups who have secured funding today. A big round of applause to all of them once more. We are going to take a quick group photo. Thank you, everyone.
So just to clarify, number 2 and number 1 will get funded, provided they go through due diligence and agree on certain things. But yes, we're going to fund them.
All right. What an eventful evening it's been. A big thank you to our audience for being so patient with us and for really supporting and championing entrepreneurship in Sri Lanka. We're ready to wrap things up, but before that, we want to officially and formally thank you all. And to deliver the thank you note, can I call our Group CEO of Hatch, Suresh, to officially thank you all.
I had a couple of guys telling me, okay, just go sleep. It's been an eventful week. Some said, finally we get to go sleep. So yeah, no, this is not my actual thank you speech, but just giving you the context of coming in here, and a lot of chatter in the back of all the excitement from going through the competition and all of that. So good stuff, but I really, really am grateful. So I got a speech really prepared, and I'm going to kick off with that, all right? So bear with me just a few more minutes before we go for networking. Well, First Capital Startup Nation 2025 has been an incredible journey. What began as a call for Sri Lanka's boldest founders quickly became a celebration of talent, resilience, and creativity that defined our entrepreneurial spirit. From over 180 applications, we shortlisted the top 50. Then we went to top 25. Then we went to top 10. And yep, here we are today. Each step of the way, we witness founders who are not only building businesses, but are actually building the future of Sri Lanka. This is a remarkable initiative, and this wouldn't have been made possible without all the amazing partners, investors, our community, our team. So first, to our title partner, First Capital, thank you for championing this vision, for powering the Startup Nation journey. Yes, let's get a round of applause for First Cap. And to our silver sponsor, Orion City, your support has been instrumental in making this journey happen. To our national partner, ICTA, and our national innovation partner, the National Innovation Agency, thank you for your leadership in strengthening Sri Lanka's startup ecosystem. To our strategic partner at Port City, Colombo, and our knowledge partners, Founder Institute, and Impactor, who did the Unconference, which is pretty unique. Thank you for the expertise and global perspectives that you brought to our platform. To our investment partner, Lanka Angel Network, and our impact partner, Thai Colombo, thank you for backing our founders and connecting them with your amazing network. To our academic partner, University of Sri Javardhana Purakote, and our outreach partner, Singapore Sri Lanka Business Association, thank you for bridging the knowledge and connections across the borders. To our industry partners at SASCOM, thank you for aligning the journey with the broader tech and BPM community. To our official airline partner, I think some of you guys flew in, Sri Lankan Airlines, thank you for flying Startups Nation's message far and wide. And this is the people who are spreading the words of those who made it today, and for those who are still out there looking for connections. To our print and media partners, LMD, radio partners Fox FM, media partners TV Derna, Other Derna 24, Pulse, RTV, Echelon, Economy Next. Thank you for amplifying the voice of our founders and the Startup Nation Spotlight. Thank you. And to our hospitality partners, with whom some of you guys are having a good time, hopefully, and staying comfortably. Sophia Colombo, Orion City Hotel, Jack Hilton, thank you for providing that hospitality. Last, but by no means least, a very special thanks to the amazing Hatch team. Your passion, creativity, what brought First Capital Startup Nation alive. Thank you. That's one thing we at Hatch are blessed with. You've proven once again that Hatch is not just a space. It's the beating heart of innovation in Sri Lanka. Together, we've shown the world what Sri Lankan founders are capable of. But this is just the beginning. The success of First Capital Startup Nation 2025, it sets the stage for something even bigger, bolder, and grander. So look forward to that in 2026. And we look forward to bringing you guys again and more. With more startups, more opportunities, and stronger global collaborations, we're ready to build the future together with you guys. So on behalf of Hatch, thank you to every partner, every sponsor, the judges, the investors, community builders, ecosystem partners, and most importantly, to the founders out back who are still pitching, if you can't hear, they're still talking, who inspires us every day. And with that, we come to the end of First Capital Startup Nation 2025. Thank you all. God bless. Have an amazing evening. Thank you.
All right, and that's a wrap. Thank you so much, lovely audience, for being with us. There's refreshments served at the back. Do connect with the startup community and have a fabulous evening. Thank you and cheers.